One of the things that I absolutely love about toys today is that so many things from the past that were supposed to come out that never did are now getting a second chance at life. And a lot of times, it's thanks to the awesome folks on the indie toy scene. Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan. Thank you for joining me for another video here on my channel. If you enjoy what you see today, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing so you never miss out on another video, because today we're talking indie toys, we're talking unreleased vintage toys, we're talking TMNT, baby, yeah! Specifically, we're going to talk about the TMNT, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mega Mutants. The Mega Mutants were released in 1990 and featured two figures, Needlenose and Killer Bee. They are incredibly cool, larger mutant characters that were designed sort of like ride-ons, so your Ninja Turtles and Foot Clan members could ride on their backs and fly into battle. They are very, very cool toys, and honestly, I don't feel like they get talked about enough. They're some of the most overlooked, really cool sculpts in the original TMNT toy line.
It's the foot soldier riding Killer Bee, Shredder's gigantic Mega Mutant. They're buzzing off with a stolen top-secret isotope. How will the Turtles ever stop them?
You're asking me?
With Needlenose, the Turtles' own Mega Mutant, the psychotic Killer Bee attacks, but Needlenose outmaneuvers him. The foot fingers fumble it away, and the isotope is safe.
I told him not to bug me.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
From Playmates.
But what if I were to tell you that it wasn't supposed to stop with just two figures? Needlenose and Killer Bee were not the only two figures that were intended to be part of the Mega Mutants lineup. In fact, there is concept art and there was a prototype for an unreleased third Mega Mutant named Army Ant. And guess what, my friends? Army Ant is becoming a reality. That's right, the original sculptor of Army Ant, David Arshosky at Turtle Milk Studios, has recently partnered with Treasure Monster Toys on a new Kickstarter to bring Army Ant to life. This thing is based off of the original prototype and David's original concept art for that figure that never made it to production, and now it looks like it's possibly going to be coming out. In fact, the Kickstarter is live right now, and it is on its way to being fully funded. And today, well, I've got a very special first look for you, because the folks over at Treasure Monster Toys allowed me to borrow the resin prototype so that we can get a hands-on look at the unreleased Mega Mutant Army Ant. Let's dive right in and check it out. And here he is. This is the Mega Mutant known as Army Ant. And as you can see, if I get my hands in here, he's a beast. He is quite the Mega Mutant. He's a pretty large figure. So I do want to start with the tape measure here, just to kind of give you guys some measurements. You can see from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head, we're looking at 6 inches tall. He goes a little taller than that with the seat and everything up there. And then lengthwise, I mean, we're about 6-7 inches long there. I guess if we're going from the butt to the hands, it's about 7 inches long. So it's a big figure, exactly as you would expect from the vintage TMNT Mega Mutants action figures. So what's cool about this is that this is actually based off of that original prototype. In fact, Treasure Monster Toys received a resin cast hard copy of David Arshosky's original sculpt of the ant body, and then they did scanning on that, and then a 3D sculptor then finished up some of the secondary parts based on David's original concept artwork. So this may not be exactly like the unreleased prototype, but it is as close as we're gonna get it. So it is a fully licensed figure, and I think that is so incredibly cool, having the original creator of this being involved in bringing this to life finally giving it to the fans, finally to add to their shelves. So what we see here today is a resin prototype, meaning this is not articulated. In fact, it's probably even a little fragile. It's a little heavy. It's hand painted. So this is a good representation of what the final figure is going to look like. But the final figure will actually be a factory produced action figure. So it will be full plastic, fully articulated. It'll be made just like the vintage Mega Mutants figures. So that way you won't have to worry about breakage or anything like that. It's going to fit right in with the other figures in your collection. I was also told that the colors on here are pretty close to final, but they're still doing some tweaks, still doing some Pantone adjustments to make sure that the colors really fit in with the vintage figures. Everything matches as close as possible. So it sounds like they're doing all the right things on this, which is something that I really appreciate. And I gotta say, this guy looks very, very cool in person. So let's just kind of roll through here and look at some of the details, because I always loved looking at the details on these. Of course, his name is Army Ant, which is perfectly fitting. So he looks like a soldier, right? He's got that whole military motif going on. I love that he's got like the army helmet with the little peace sign up there on top of it. He's got some pretty crazy eyes. In fact, this eye over here, he's got like the little swirl in it. But over here, I don't know if it's like a false eye, if that's what it's supposed to be, but on that purple pupil, there's like a skull and crossbones sculpted on there. It's really cool. You got the little metal plates on the ends of his pinchers there. I love his ripped and tattered army boots with like his little ant toes poking out. You can see there's a knife strapped to him. You got a little pistol in a holster over here. You got the little pouches and everything off of the back. And then even some of the details like the little cannon on the back with the little eyeball right here. I mean, that fits right in line with our Mega Mutants. Exactly the kind of details you would expect on these. The little skulls on the back look very cool. You can see we got a nice seat up here at the top. Now this is where your Ninja Turtle figures would be able to sit. Now, I was told that this is still being worked out. It's not sized right for a turtle yet, plus it's like a stiff resin, so I was advised not to seat a turtle up here just yet because they're not really going to fit in there. But the final one will have a proper seat that a turtle can fit in. So how about if I just bring in Leonardo here just so you can see the scale of these guys together. So we get a good pose here. Look at this. Look at the size difference with Army Ant and Leonardo. It's really, really impressive. All right, so let's get Leo out of frame here because we got more to talk about with Army Ant because he does come with some accessories, which is very cool. So as you can see, he does have a rifle-like weapon here. That's going to be done in this purpley color. He's got a large knife-like weapon. And he's got this walkie-talkie accessory. Now, the hands are another thing that will be worked out for a production figure. So, because you would expect your action figure to really be able to hold on to these. So, while we can get the blaster in his hand pretty good, the knife is fitting a little loose. The walkie-talkie's fitting a little loose. But this is another thing that I was told they are still working out. So, that's just one of those kind of prototype things that you deal with from time to time. Yeah, see? Doesn't really sit in there pretty good right now, but they're still fun accessories nonetheless. I definitely think that helps complete the look too when you put the rifle in his hand there. But those aren't even the only accessories because he's also going to get a little buddy, a little sidekick character, which is such a classic TMNT thing. I love it. And this is also inspired by David's artwork, which is so incredibly cool. Look at this little guy. I love him. So two little ant dudes running into battle together. Pretty awesome. All right, now this is an important thing because we keep talking about the Mega Mutants. So how does this fit in with our vintage action figures? Well, I do have a vintage complete Killer Bee, which is one of my favorites. I unfortunately don't have a Needlenose that's in great shape to show together, so I wanted to at least show these two together. So here you can see the vintage Killer Bee with the seat up on top, so it fits in with the whole theming there. Killer Bee is a bit more hunched over in his overall look, but the size is still very similar. In fact, Army Ant stands a bit taller than him, but definitely still in that same kind of scale and size there. And I will say, I think these two look incredibly cool next to each other. Like, it's going to be awesome finally getting to complete the trio on the shelf. I'll be adding Army Ant for sure. I need to get myself a Needlenose to add to this group here. But I love this. I've always been a big fan of the Mega Mutants and their designs. I love Killer Bee. He's one of my favorites. I think Army Ant looks like he fits right in. So I find this incredibly exciting. Now, in addition to classic Army Ant, Treasure Monster Toys is also offering up this guy, which is a camouflaged variant of Army Ant. Both of these are available on the Kickstarter, so you can pick which one you like better or get both of them. We even have variant accessories, like we've got a green version of the little ant buddy, and all of the weapons are also colored a little different, have a bit more of like an army man vibe to them. Also, I like how there's like the little no symbol kind of painted on the black rifle there. That's really cool. The green walkie-talkie, the silver dagger there, the silver knife, really, really fun looking. So the sculpt is the same, he just features a camouflaged paint deco, which I just think looks really fun on here. I really like the way those colors contrast. You can see he's got like the darker browns on the gloves and the boots, and then he's got this camouflage paint deco on his uniform there. Very, very fun looking. And then there's more silvers and browns rather than the brighter purples and blues that we see on the classic edition. So it's really a preference thing. Like, do you want the more wacky, bright colors that you would see in the vintage TMNT line, or something that looks a little bit more military based? They're both really fun options. And I think it's cool that we've got the option to pick up a variant if you want to add that to your collection. It's really, really fun. So there you go, my friends. There is a hands-on look at the prototype of the Mega Mutant Army Ant from Treasure Monster Toys. Honestly, I love this, but I'm also a big fan of seeing this toy history like this brought to life. I love that the original designer was involved in the creation of this new figure, and I really think they're handling this right because he looks like he fits right in with vintage TMNT. I love the colors, I love the details, and I can't wait to see how this thing turns out as a full plastic action figure. Plus, he's going to come with a box, and the box is going to feature original artwork. That is David Arshawski's actual original Army Ant artwork, where original Mirage artist Dan Berger even re-inked the art and then colored and added additional design elements to it. So you got a lot of original TMNT creators all wrapped up in this project, which just puts this over the top. I think that is fantastic. So there you guys go, a look at Army Ant, or the prototype for Army Ant. Honestly, this is the type of thing that I get so excited about today. I'm such a fan of a lot of these old toy lines. I love toy history, and I've always been fascinated by unproduced and unreleased toys. And seeing some of these things being brought out finally, especially when the original creators are involved, oh, it is so, so cool just kind of seeing this stuff come full circle. And Treasure Monster Toys is actually offering some really cool stuff in addition to Army Ant, so you should certainly head on over and check out the Kickstarter. In addition to Army Ant and the Army Ant variant both being offered through the Kickstarter, there's also some other things you can check out there too, such as Shadow Line, which is a Mutant multiverse crossover toy line where several different artists, including some TMNT legends, have come together to create their own mutant creations. Inferno, the awesome hippo-looking dude, is one of them that is being offered here. And as I stated earlier on, Army Ant, Inferno, all of these figures, they're going to be full production action figures. So these will be factory made, full plastic action figures that'll be just like the vintage toys that you know and love. So what we looked at today, early hand-painted resin prototype. When this thing is successful, that goes into full production and you'll be getting a full factory-made plastic action figure. I love stuff like this. I love seeing these unproduced toys come to life, and I love seeing what the indie toy scene is doing today. So I want to give a very special thanks to Treasure Monster Toys for trusting me to borrow the prototype and get a good hands-on look at it here in the video. I would urge you guys to go check out the Kickstarter if this is something that interests you. All the information is there. You can read more about the story and how all of this came to be. I'll make sure I link it in the video description down below. Otherwise, leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, my friends.